Oh, hello everyone. Good evening. And I don't have my camera person tonight because she has a bad headache. But I just wanted to give you a little update tonight about our future tropical disturbance that's going to be probably become Tropical Storm or Hurricane Debby. And as you can see, look at this right here. This is drastically different from yesterday. Yesterday you didn't hardly see any thunderstorm activity, but now you can see a lot of thunderstorms just blossoming everywhere. It's not organized, but there's a lot of convection, and look at the direction it's headed, right towards the Bahamas and Florida. And this is what we're talking about. The computer models, at least the GFS model, had a very interesting thing happen today. It indicated that this system is going to come across these mountainous islands here, including Cuba, and it's going to stay weak and emerge in the Gulf of Mexico, and then start heading north towards the panhandle of Florida. Now, the problem is it develops into a full-fledged hurricane just off of Apalachicola area, Panama City, but it just sits there. It's supposed to sit there and just kind of slowly meander its way northwest, eventually out of the state. But they're showing, the GFS model is showing the potential of up to 20 inches of rain here in the panhandle next week. Anyway, that's just one computer model, and the GFS has made lots of mistakes in the past, so I'm going to take the next few minutes to show you the different computer models forecast of what's going to happen with this mess right here. Looks pretty impressive, doesn't it? Look at that thunderstorm activity there, just blossoming up. That is what you want to see if you want a hurricane to develop. We don't want a hurricane in Florida, but you can see the direction, the trajectory of it is basically, see if I can point the pointer that way. See it? It's kind of heading off in this general direction right here. And I'm going to show you a couple of the computer models. Alright, what you're seeing here is the European model. Let me zoom in here real quick and show you what it's depicting is going to happen. So here's the system right here, according to the European. Show it head towards the Gulf of Mexico and Florida. And let me just put this thing into motion here. It didn't want to go. Come on. Go. Okay, there you go. So you can see the system right here. This is the European model. Shows it's still very disorganized, moving north of Hispaniola, kind of crawling over Cuba. It kind of festers over this area. It doesn't really do much. Kind of crawls its way towards Florida, and this is on August the 3rd, which is Sunday. No, Saturday. And then this is August 4th, Sunday, right here, crawling into South Florida. Not doing a whole lot. Just kind of meandering out here in the Gulf as a tropical low pressure. And still, on August the 5th, it's just kind of meandering off the coast here. Low pressure finally forms off of Tampa, and then it really just stays disorganized and weak, but brings a lot of rain to central and northern Florida. But look at this, by the 7th, it's kind of drifting its way south. I don't get that unless a trough in the jet stream is kicking down. And then it shows it developing into something over the northern Bahamas, and then heads up towards Outer Banks of North Carolina. That's the European model. Now let's look at the Icon model, which is the German one. Okay, this is the Icon model. I think it tells a pretty similar story here. There it is. Now let's put this into motion here. Now. So there it is. Kind of similar to the European model. It keeps it weak, keeps it over Cuba a little bit, kind of festers down here in the Straits of Florida. Oh, now it does get a low pressure here. Now this is different. Kind of develops off of southwest Florida, goes up into Tampa. Ooh, sits kind of over North Florida for a little bit, and then it's working its way north. Okay, that's it. That's as far as that model goes. Now let me go to the GFS model, which tells a completely different story. Alright, so now this is the GFS model, and it by far has the most interesting solution of all of them. Now watch this as I put this into motion. Watch what the GFS model does with it. Okay, there it is. You can see that feature right here. It's working its way up into the Gulf. Look at that. Develops it into a full-fledged hurricane off the panhandle of Florida down to 990 millibars. That is a bona fide hurricane. And what's even more interesting is that it just sits over the panhandle. Now watch this goes back into motion. It's going to go back in here in a second. And keep an eye on it. It's just, the frame is just getting ready to start back over right now. Now keep an eye on it. The feature is right here, and here it is. Here it is, August 1st. August 2nd, here's about August the 3rd, here's the 4th. So August 5th, Sunday, and August 6th, Monday, it comes up here into the panhandle, and look at that, it could just sit over the Panhandle and northern Florida and just spew out bunches of rain over a 3-day period. We could see rainfall between 10 and 20 inches from basically Tampa to Panama City and everywhere in between. So honestly, that is the worst case scenario for rainfall. Now, one good thing that I like about this, I want to show you real quick the sea surface temperature analysis across the Gulf of Mexico, because basically this part of the Gulf right here is way hotter than normal. It's like 88 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's really high fuel for a hurricane. So if we could get a tropical storm spinning here for several days, that would actually be good news, because that would cool the sea surface temperatures down and make it less possible for a destructive hurricane to come through here later on. So let me show you the sea surface temperature map real quick. Alright, this is the last frame. I gotta wrap this video up because it's getting my camera is getting low in power, but as I was telling you a couple of seconds ago, this is the sea surface temperature anomaly map of the Atlantic Ocean and actually the whole globe. And look at that. Look how hotter than normal the Gulf of Mexico is off the west coast of Florida and off the Panhandle. If we could get a tropical storm to get up there and stir that water up, that would actually be good news, because that would weaken the possibility of a damaging hurricane coming up to someplace like Panama City, Tallahassee, Tampa, Gainesville, Lake City, you name it. That would decrease the chances of a violent hurricane coming up through that area. But you can see the Atlantic Ocean, the eastern part of the Atlantic has cooled a little bit because of the Saharan air layer, Saharan dust. But still, here in the main development region, very warm, very much warmer than normal. And look at how much warmer it is than normal across the North Atlantic. This is not hot water, but it's like 5 to 6 degrees warmer than normal over the last 30-year average. So, yeah. And here's the La Nina that's developing in the Eastern Pacific, which is what's going to contribute to us having a pretty dry, mild winter in Florida this year and across the southeast. But anyway, that's it. That's all I have for right now. I will talk to you guys again tomorrow when we get a better idea of what's going on with what will probably become Tropical Storm Debby. And it will probably have an impact on Florida with a lot of flooding rain, maybe some tornadoes, coastal flooding, and I'll let you know what's going on. Talk to you later.